When you are called by God, He's calling you away from the world. You will begin to notice that you're disconnected. You start to be removed from the connection to people, to places, to things, to jobs. It's like all of a sudden your entire identity shifts. It's scary. You have no choice but to lean in to your faith. That's by design. But the letting go, right, of the things that you were once attached to, you start to see people like having cocktails and running the streets and being out at night and, consuming in such a way that you just can't even fathom anymore. And yet there's nothing on the other side that's fulfilling you. It's this void of nothingness, this place of alienation. This is how you know that God is setting you apart. Not aside. He's setting you apart. And then He takes you, as you lean in, into isolation, where so many things die. Relationships, attachments, things just begin to disintegrate and dissolve in the most curious of ways. It's just one thing after the other, just sort of by worldly standards is falling apart. You think, what will come of me? You're still measuring yourself against a worldly criteria. If you don't have these cars, this job, this house, this title, this relationship, these bags, this filler, what will people think of you? That you're a failure. You're poor. You're a loser. You've lost your mind. All of these things are by design, because what the world looks upon you as in failure, in poverty, is what the kingdom sees as a warrior in the making. The position that you're stepping into is of the heavenly realms. But everything you once were that was based in generational curses, old identities, things of the ego and of the flesh, they have to die. God takes you through that grieving process, and it is very dark, extremely lonely. And it's this situation where you can't turn back. Once you've been called, you have no choice. At least for me, I couldn't reattach to the things I was no longer attached to. I couldn't place value on things that I knew were dead, that I had owned and bought and sold and owned and bought and sold again and over again, striving for things that never fulfilled me. I was always this person walking around life feeling like, what is this? I had the talent, the looks, the resources, the opportunities to achieve everything that any one woman could ever achieve and have. A great love, beautiful homes on the beach, whatever car I wanted to drive, I had all of it. And aside from having the love of my life, who passed away, none of it ever fulfilled me. And then one day, I was called away. I started feeling like within my own town and my homeland that I didn't belong anymore. I didn't understand. How are these people walking around so happy and jolly? It's like the stuff they were doing just meant nothing to me anymore. And the process of deconstructing my identity was so painful. It was excruciating. And yet there was nowhere to run. Nowhere to go, no drink, no man, no car, no filler, no outfit, no nothing that interested me at all. To such a point that I was able to develop an appetite for God. And He moved me to a foreign country, into the jungle, into a village where there is no conveniences. The people are quite different. Everyone's on a spiritual journey, most of which are not in Christ, where there's a lot of demonic forces, dark energies, and the loneliest time of my life, the scariest time of my life, where I'm like don't have any idea who I'm going to become or what I'll be. And then he started to build my identity. He started to show me who I am in him, and to give me the appetite for things that satisfy me, that are living a hope and a future. And I think so many people miss that call because they're so attached, they're so busy, they're so distracted that they think they're fulfilled. They think that what they have and what they're pursuing is enough. And it hurts me to think that people miss going on that journey with God because they're too afraid. And I'm a real courageous young lady. I've been a skydiver. I've been a collegiate athlete. I've moved countries and states and driven all over the country in my van alone. I've done so many things that people go, wow, how is she so, So I wonder, the people who are being called, are they courageous enough to lean into that calling and go through that journey of being completely disintegrated and then being rebuilt and being delivered, having their whole bloodline be delivered through them, realizing the burdens that they have carried all their life were never theirs. The abuse, the assault, the attempt on their lives was never about them personally, and they walked around just hating themselves their whole life, not realizing that God had this incredible purpose on their lives, that all of those things were meant to destroy them. The enemy wanted to take them out, that he brought up forces and people and gangs and groups and families against them to make them think they were crazy, to make them think that they weren't called, they were not chosen, they were the least of them. To now come to realize that not only is there a hope and a future and a purpose on my life, that I'm being held, I'm being supported, that my burdens are being carried for me, that the doors that are not meant for me have been closed, the chains have been broken, the soul ties have been severed, so that I could do this kingdom work, that I could show up in full authenticity to give testimony to who God is and what he's doing. And I have no idea where this will end up, my life and my purpose. I have some inclination, I have some visions, and it's probably much smaller than what God is actually going to do. But he has put me in such a position that I have to lean completely in full trust, in full surrender, because I've been called, I was chosen. And sometimes being chosen, all times being chosen, means that you have no idea what the future holds, and that being chosen is the very place that all of your confidence comes from.